Alright guys and girls, back again with another fun-filled, action-packed Algebra 2 classroom video. So today it's going to be about relations and functions, still Unit 1, still Section 1, but Day 2. Today we're going to be able, where the target goal is to be able to write the domain and range of a function in interval notation, inequalities, and set notation. All right, so we're going to move down here, move all the way down here. Let's just quickly go over the definitions of domain and range once again. The domain of a function, I'm going to skip this one because that's not even in plain English. The domain is the set of all possible x values which will make the function work and will output real y values. And the range is going to be the resulting y values we get after we substitute all the possible x values. See how this goes in some set builder notation. Check this out. All right, so how do you actually write something in set builder notation? Pretty much you're going to start with a bracket, that means set, remember? Then whatever variable you want to explain. So let's say I want to tell you what the possible domain is. I'm going to put x. Then you're going to put the straight up and down line that separates that, and then you're going to write whatever values the x can be. So for example, if x is greater than 1, I just write x is greater than 1 right here. And the way you're going to read this, the way you'd read this in English instead of all these symbols is going to be like this. The set, remember brackets say set, so the set of all x right here, such that, this is such that, x is greater than 1. That's just self-explanatory right here. So let's just write this out. The set of all x such that, and then this is just self-explanatory, x is greater than 1. All right, so that's how you would read it. Okay, so sometimes you would be using like this, the colon instead of the straight up and down line, but the straight up and down line looks cooler, so we're going to be using that one. All right, so now let's take a look at an example with problem number 6 down right here. So you can see that the function is on this graph. It's a parabola, all right? And we're going to use set notation to write the domain and range of this function, which is y equals 2 times x plus 1 quantity squared minus 3. All right, so we're going to find the domain and the range. First, we're going to do an inequalities. So what can the domain be? If you look at this, because the domain covers every single possible x value, then you're going to write like this, negative, wow, why did I do that? Negative infinity is less than x, which is less than infinity. This pretty much means x can be any single number, all right? And that means, and let's look at the range. The range here, well, let's look at the y. So it starts at, what's this point, -3, and it goes up. That means that y is greater than -3, or it's greater than, why do I keep writing 8s? Greater than or equal to -3. Why is it greater than or equal to? You can see the dot right here is solid. That means it's or equal to. If the dot was open, then it would just be greater than, but it's solid. So that means the range is y is greater than or equal to -3. Now let's write this in set builder notation. Check this out. Some of you guys might not have seen this symbol before, but watch. We're going to remember set builder notation. We start with a bracket. So here we go, bracket, and then we're going to explain the domain. Domain is x, so x. Then we put the straight up and down line, and then we're going to tell what x can be. Remember, x here can be any real number. So the way we're going to show that is we're going to write this x, and then we have this weird symbol right here that pretty much means is, or a member of. And then all real number symbol. Does anybody know what this one is? It's the R with the double line. That means all real numbers. And then we close the bracket. So we read this, the set for all x such that x is a real number. So that pretty much means x can be any number. Now let's see what the range is in set builder notation. We're going to put the bracket. We're going to write y because range is y. We'll put the up and down line. We're going to put y again. Let's tell what it is. And remember, it's greater than or equal to -3. And then we close our brackets. And that right there, my friends, is a set builder notation. So you guys try the next few problems writing inequalities and set builder notation. Now let's go to interval notation. So instead of inequalities, we can actually express domain and range with intervals. And here's how it works. Interval notation is written in the form, this looks really confusing, but pretty much you're gonna either have a, I don't know what this is called, square bracket thing, or you're gonna start with a parentheses, it depends. Then you're gonna put your lowest value, so the lowest value, lowest number, I'm just gonna put number, comma, and then the highest number. And then on the other side, it can be either a square bracket or parentheses. And you can have one parentheses and one square bracket, or you can have, two square brackets or two parentheses. It can be a combination. It really depends on what you're looking for. So, for example, let's take a look at some of these. This one right here, x is greater than or equal to 3. X is greater than or equal to 3. So if I wanted to draw this on a number line, check this out. Let's say 3 is right here, right? It can be 3, and then it's going to be greater than or equal to. So it goes on here forever. So looking at that, what's my smallest number? Well, first of all, it's greater than or equal to, so I'm going to use a square bracket. My smallest number here, look at the number line that I drew, is 3. And what's the biggest number that x can be? Well, as long as it's greater than 3, so it's infinity. And infinity doesn't ever stop, so you have to use the parentheses like this. All right, so now let's take a look at the next one. X is greater than 3. This one is not equal to, so we're going to use a parentheses. And if I want to draw a number line, let's show you, it's going to look like this. Here's 3, right? We're going to use the open circle, and then it goes on forever this way. So we have the parentheses, and then once again, my lowest number is 3. And then my biggest number goes on forever, so it's going to be infinity. Once again, an infinity. You can't stop it, so it's parentheses. Looking down at this one, it says x is greater than or equal to -2, but is less than or equal to 4. So we know that our 2 points that we're going to be using is -2 and 4. So x is going to be greater than or equal to -2, so that means it's going to be a solid dot, and it's greater than, so it's going to be this way. But then it's less than or equal to 4. So it stops at the 4, but it includes 4. So that's what it looks like on the number line. Now let's write this in interval notation. So greater than or equal to, so we're going to use solid bracket. Greater than or equal to, we're going to use the square bracket again. And then remember my lowest value. What's my lowest value? It's -2. And my highest value is 4. That's right. Yeah, 4. There you go. So that's going to be interval notation for this one. All right, next up, looking at this next one right here, it says -2 and 4. So let's just draw those points again. -2. Oh, whoops. -2 and then 4 over here. All right, this time x is greater than -2. It's not equal to, so we're going to use open circle. And then it's less than 4, so we're going to use open circle here. And it's greater than, so it's going to go this way. And then it's less than 4, so it stops right there. So once again, it's in between there. So this time, it's only greater than, it's not equal to, so we have to use the parentheses. Parentheses, smallest number, -2, comma, biggest number, 4, and parentheses once again. Now let's look at a mixed one over here. This bottom one, once again, using the same numbers, -2 and 4. This time, x is greater than or equal to -4. Because it's greater than or equal to, we're going to use a solid dot. That's right here, boom. And then because it's less than 4, not less than or equal to, it's just less than 4, we're going to use open circle. And then it's the space in between here. So now if I wanted to write this in interval notation, greater than or equal to -2, use a square bracket, boom. -2 is my smallest number, comma, greatest number is 4. But 4 is open circle, so that means I'm going to use just a parentheses. So try the next few problems. That's pretty much going to be it for set builder notation and interval notation for functions. So see you in the next one. Peace!